If you think you know who runs America, think again. You've heard the names Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. But there's a family so wealthy, so deeply rooted in the foundations of American power, that even presidents tread carefully around them. Yes, even Donald Trump himself. This is not the family you see on magazine covers. They don't headline business conferences. They rarely, if ever, give interviews. Yet their influence stretches from Wall Street to Washington, from global oil reserves to quiet corridors of political lobbying. Today, we're diving into the billionaire dynasty many claim is the real backbone of American power. The family whose name barely appears anywhere, but whose fingerprints are on everything. Let's begin. 1. The family you're not supposed to talk about. Their wealth didn't explode overnight like Silicon Valley fortunes. It was grown, layer by layer, over generations. Quietly, strategically, and always out of the spotlight. While tech billionaires fight on social media, this dynasty keeps its silence, because silence is their armor. Their empire was built during a time when America was transforming from farmland to industrial powerhouse. Unlike modern billionaires, who rely on attention and fan bases, this family understood something far more dangerous. Real power grows in the shadows. They became the hidden lenders, the silent partners, the invisible hands behind industries that shape the country. Oil, banking, defense, pharmaceuticals, media. They operate in sectors you cannot escape even if you try. To the public, they barely exist. To insiders, they are unavoidable. 2. How they became the unseen owners of America. Imagine a family so intertwined with the American economy that removing them would collapse entire industries. That's how deeply planted they are. Over the decades, their corporations became essential parts of the country's infrastructure. They didn't just fund companies, they bought them. Then they bought the companies that supplied those companies. And then they invested in the competitors, just in case. This is the kind of wealth that multiplies quietly, not loudly. The kind that doesn't depend on public approval. The kind that doesn't need anyone's vote. As political leaders changed from Democrat to Republican and back again, this family's influence remained constant. They didn't chase the spotlight, because the spotlight is a distraction. They chose long-term dominance over short-term headlines. And while the world focused on tech moguls and celebrity CEOs, this dynasty was accumulating something far more valuable: control. 3. Even presidents don't cross them. Presidents rise and fall. Political parties gain and lose power. But the ultra-elite families, the ones tied to America's oldest banking institutions, global oil supplies, and trillion-dollar investment pipelines, those families remain. Donald Trump, for all his boldness, for all his reputation as a fearless negotiator, reportedly avoided conflict with them. Why? Because this dynasty doesn't fight publicly. They don't argue on TV. When they want something, they don't shout. They make a phone call, and things happen. They have access to information, networks, and influence that even a president would struggle to match. They don't play politics. They design the environment politics happens in. That's why even the most powerful leaders step carefully around them. It's not fear of money, it's fear of the power behind that money. 4. Their wealth goes beyond what you can count. We often think wealth equals flashy mansions or yachts. But their wealth is different. It's not meant to be seen. It's meant to be used. Their estimated net worth isn't billions. Some analysts believe it crosses into the trillions. But no one can say for certain, because so much of it is hidden in private trusts, shell companies, offshore holdings, and generational funds locked behind layers of legal protection. When your wealth becomes this large, you don't report it. You distribute it. You place it in assets that the world depends on. You invest in industries that cannot fail. You turn your money into influence, and then you turn that influence into stability. Their goal wasn't to be rich. Their goal was to be inevitable. 5. The network that reaches every American household. Even if you've never heard their name, you've definitely used something they own. Their companies fuel American cars. They produce materials that build American homes. They influence pricing of everyday products. They invest in agriculture, technology, energy, aviation, logistics, biotechnology. The list goes on. This is not normal wealth. It's systemic wealth. When people say a family owns America, this is what they mean. A dynasty whose reach extends so far across the economy that avoiding them is practically impossible. They don't need to be in the headlines. They're in your house, your car, your bank account, your food, your energy, and your daily routines. 6. Why no one talks about them. You might wonder, if they're so powerful, why don't people expose them? The truth is simple. You can't expose what you cannot see. They operate through subsidiaries, holding companies, and private investments. Their top executives often aren't family members. Their public companies rarely carry the family name. They learned early that anonymity is the ultimate shield. When a tech billionaire tweets something controversial, the world reacts instantly. When this dynasty makes a move, no one even knows. That's the difference between visible wealth and invisible power. 7. The future they're quietly designing. As America moves toward a future of renewable energy, AI, robotics, and digital finance, this family is already there. They don't wait for trends. They control them. They invest in energy innovations before they hit the market. They acquire stakes in AI labs before anyone knows their names. They influence policy long before politicians publicly debate it. This is how you maintain dominance, by moving in absolute silence until the world has no choice but to follow. If you think you know who's running the country, think again. Power is rarely where people think it is. And the most powerful family in America doesn't want you to know anything about them. Their power doesn't come from headlines. It comes from the systems America depends on. Energy, finance, manufacturing, politics. Their influence is everywhere, yet their name remains almost invisible. While the world debates celebrities and public billionaires, this dynasty quietly designs the future one industry, one policy, one generation at a time. So here's the question. If a family this powerful prefers to stay hidden, what else don't we know? And more importantly, who's really running the country? If you want me to uncover more of these secret power players and hidden billionaire empires, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the next story might just change the way you see the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.